Another thing you can make is a very strong tent peg, which is very useful. So if you lose your tent pegs, but you have a bamboo woods, then you don't have to worry about it. Just make your own in short order. So let's see what we're going for here. All right, you want it to be stiff. So this is very stiff, very strong, especially if you try to bend it backwards. So if you look at this, it's cupped. This is the outside of the bamboo pole, and this is the inside of the bamboo pole, right? If you bend it this way towards the outside of the bamboo pole, it's harder because of this cup. So leave it wide like this, and it'll be a lot stiffer. Then, when you drive it into the ground, you're going to drive it at this angle like this, with your tent this way, and it's not going to bend as easily. The other thing you want is a place for your guy line to catch. So you're going to leave the joint, or at least a part of it. I'd say a 7 or 8 inch tent peg is fine. That's about what this is. I'm not going to cut it here. I'm going to cut it here, below the joint, because otherwise I run the risk of splitting this section. All right, so I've scored it all the way around, and now I'm going to start cutting. I'm angling down, as you can see. There you go. See? So I've cut this without splitting the section that I wanted. See, this is split in several places. Now that I'm most of the way through, I don't mind using the tip. I can just kind of work it in carefully. But I wouldn't start out using the tip. I don't want to break the tip of my knife. Just work it delicately. There we go. See? I've got it cut all the way around, and it didn't split anywhere. What you see here is a length that's going to be adequate for tent pegs once I cut off this other joint. But to make that job easier, I'm going to cut these pegs out first. What I want to do is get the most pegs of an adequate width out of this as I can. So I should get 8 tent pegs out of this pole. Split each in half twice. This is the end that has the initial cut when I first cut down that piece of bamboo. I'm going to discard this end and keep this one that has a nice flat edge on the top that I can more easily pound without breaking it. Before I start working it, I'm going to go ahead and scrape off those sharp edges that will really cut your hand. I'm going to trim off a little piece. I don't need that much, just enough to keep the, I don't need a lot of this tab, just enough to keep the paracord from slipping back over it. So that should be fine. There we go. Okay, now it's just a matter of carving a fairly blunt tip into it. See? And you really don't have to be finicky about it. You just want it to be wide, you know, broad, and have just enough taper to it so you can drive it into the ground. Just remembering that once you cut it off, you can't put it back. Okay, that's entirely adequate. I'm just checking to make sure I don't get splinters when I handle this. And I don't want it cutting into the fabric of my backpack either. That back towards you is the tent. So I'm going to angle it at about 45 degrees, and I'm going to push it as much as I can. The ground is a little soft, but the stake itself is in good. So it survived. And you can use this another day. Thanks for watching this segment on bamboo implements. I appreciate your interest in the show, and I want you to know that I've got a lot more information about this at survivalnewsonline.com. So be sure and check out the extra information about bamboo and its uses in survival situations. I'll see you at the lodge.